And we're off. Hey, everybody, it's May 7th, 2014. Mother's Day is on Sunday. Don't forget. Unless you hate your mother, then screw her. So we're here at my house again, unfortunately. But today we're talking to my good friend Lance Keltner. And
Hi, everybody.
hi, Lance. Thanks for coming.
Oh,
You
thanks
came
for
all the way
having me.
from Austin, Texas, just to do this show.
I did.
I know.
I did.
The problem is he needed a place to stay, and I told him no. So he's going to sleep in his car.
I'm actually in my girlfriend's car.
Right.
So I'll be sleeping in my girlfriend's car.
That's like really B-level musician. Like A-level musician, I'm at my girlfriend's house.
Yeah.
B-level, I'm in my girlfand's car.
Well, she lets me stay in the house now, too.
Oh, she does?
Yeah.
Oh, she lets you sit up front in a car with her?
Well, when
and
I first
everything?
came here, I had to stay at a hotel. But now I can stay at
Oh. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Sorry, I'm still getting over my cold, so you're going to listen to me cough when I laugh. No, just kidding. Lance is in town doing business, and he brought along some really cool cables that we're going to talk about today called Astro Rope.
Astro Rope.
Astro Rope. And we've been playing it. Lance has been here for a couple hours, and we've been playing them, and they sound really good. We have an instrument cable and a directional speaker cable, which this is the first directional speaker cable where I could really hear a distinct difference when you run it different directions. Usually it was, I'd get those, I don't want to say names, but I got them from a lot of people, and I'd plug it in and switch it around and kind of go.
It's about the same.
I mean, I could take any cable and plug it two different ways. Go, you hear a difference, right? And 9 out of 10 people are going to go, yeah, it does a little different. This
It's vastly different.
very different. Like in the normal direction or the wrong direction, sounds great. But the correct direction actually sounds really good.
That's a prototype.
This is a prototype, so from what I understand, this is all going to be held under some, casing.
It'll look pretty.
But it's actually a dual element thing, and it sounds great. Do you know what these are going to cost?
I don't know. And in fact, I just brought this cable out for guys like you and Bob Bradshaw and other friends to hear. And so far, the people who've heard this cable notice a marked difference. Now I've got your cough.
I'm sorry. Welcome to LA.
They've been noticing a marked difference between this and other speaker cables.
I can tell.
It's got more bottom. It's got more.
It's full range.
Full range.
Yeah.
Without being harsh on the top end.
Right.
And it definitely sounds different if you turn it around backwards. Suddenly you go, wow,
Clearly.
that's a whole other ball game.
And I've heard that claim from so many guys, and it's just not extremely evident.
Well, see, and when they make the actual one, it'll be like this cable where it has like,
it'll have
a little
marking on it.
little pointy things.
We should have marked this before I took it out.
Well, we can hear it both ways, I guess.
And just put a piece of tape on the one end.
Yeah, but basically these guys, this is a new thing. This is a test unit, and so far everybody I've had to play that like it. And the guitar cable, I've been playing it for a long time, for several years, and David Grissom's on these. A lot of Nashville cats are playing them, and I love the way these cables sound. And just like anything, guitars, whatever you got.
Yeah.
Effects pedals.
So they do balanced XLR cables too.
They absolutely do. And I've got,
for studio and for stage.
I've got those here with me as well. And they also do interconnects that are amazing. You run those to your speakers, and they sound really, really phenomenal. So, these guys are doing great work. They're from Austin.
It says Astro Rope's revolutionary technology optimizes electron flow in your signal path.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're treating the element. There's lots of different treatments you can do to metal to make it lay down at an atomic level, so there's less resistance and less capacitance.
Yeah, I mean, the Astro Rope guys could give you all the skinny on the super tech side of it, but basically the flow is uninterrupted throughout this cable.
Right.
And it is grounded and shielded in a little bit different, more unique way than some.
Right. And it's Bluetooth.
I wish it were. Yeah, it's Bluetooth. We wouldn't need the cable, would we?
Yeah, I know, exactly. Well, line 6, baby. But sorry, line 6 guys. Astro Rope products literally excite your tone at the moment you plug them in. All right, I like that.
They do.
So these are made in Texas?
Yeah. They're a Texas-based company. They're made in the United States.
Right.
And they've been making them in Texas, and And
are they in Austin? Or
they're in Austin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're in Austin.
Lance is an Austin guy. For those of you that don't know.
Well, yeah, I've been there since '82.
Yeah.
So kind of Austin. Yeah.
That's right. You were a military kid before that.
I was an
weren't you?
Army brat.
Yeah. It landed in Texas.
Yes. Well, it was like when Mom and Dad said we're retiring at Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Uh huh.
I went, wow, really?
I don't know how to play banjo.
Exactly. I was like, the only way I'm going to make any money playing guitar here is if I learn to play George Jones songs real fast.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I moved to Austin because it was closer.
Can you rope and ride?
I can ride a horse. My mom's family were ranchers.
I got a couple over here.
Do you really?
Yeah, we should go riding.
All right.
But you take the boy out of Missouri kind of thing.
Yeah.
But no, that's cool. Actually, it's nice to see things being made, in the United States that are high quality.
Well, I will tell you, with these guys, they are brutally dedicated to not ever going offshore. They won't do it.
Well, when I've experienced this, and they'll probably tell you the same story. If you want to make something of a certain quality,
right,
there's no cost benefit to going offshore.
Right.
Because metal is metal.
Sure.
Aluminum costs the same as it does in China as it does here. Those are world markets. It's like gold costs the same as it does here.
Yeah.
So if you're doing anything that has a heavy metal, pardon the pun, element to it, if metal is a big part of what you're doing,
right,
the only benefit you get is labor. And so for my amplifier, the transformers, they don't make that kind of steel anywhere but the United States.
Right.
I can't, shipping steel to China to save on labor is dumb.
Yeah.
I used aircraft grade aluminum.
Right.
Can't get that in China.
No.
But if I were, I could get it sourced there, but it's going to cost exactly what it does here. I use Baltic birch on my cabinets. Mm-hmm. Can't get that in China.
Right.
So it's...
so what's the point?
So what I get is the 7-8 hours of labor of someone soldering.
Right.
Which is way less than what the cost of my transformer set is.
Right.
From Mercury Magnetics. So there's no cost benefit. Now, if you want to go make stuff out of computer parts...
Right.
And have it made really cheaply, you can do that in Asia. So for a company like this, they just can't make this product over there.
Well, and even if they could, they wouldn't.
Right.
They're very committed to their product, and they won't do that. So it's like one of those things. It's like anything else. It's like I played the cable, loved it, I use it. Mm-hmm. Grissom played the cable, loved it, he uses it all the time.
Right.
But like anything else, some guy might plug it in and go, I'm not ever going away from my George L's, and that's the way I roll.
Well, there's a lot of good cables out there, and
sure,
a lot of it's just personal preference, like food, But
yeah,
I
like the flavor of that one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you and I both dig Mexican food, so it makes sense.
Yeah,
I've had one for probably 6 months.
Yeah,
and I what I like about it is I can't find a guitar where I don't like that cable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
That's kind of a there's some guys who use them cables to tune their instruments.
Mm-hmm.
This one is universal. Like I said, any guitar I end up using, I'm happy that if this cable is in line.
Yeah, for me, a cable is the best when I don't know that it's there.
Yep.
Right.
I got a couple other cables that I've been using for the sole reason that they're transparent.
Right.
I don't feel like it's adding or subtracting anything to my guitar.
Well, and that's weird. Like on one hand, before we were recording, we were talking about how people's hands have a whole lot more to do with tone than anything at all.
Absolutely.
But on the other hand, when you start putting all these pieces together, it's kind of like having everything get out of your way by having the best possible stuff you can in the chain.
Yeah, you want as little between you and the first tube in this amp as possible.
Sure.
It's
back to what we were talking about. Like I used to love my wet dry rig because there was like a wah wah and a fuzz into a Marshall.
Yeah.
And all that other happy stuff happened afterwards.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It was right out of your way.
You bet.
Keep us posted on the electric, Frank, R.J. Sanders says.
Okay.
We'll do that. So this Astro Rope stuff is cool. And then, so I guess we have an opportunity here to give away one of these cables.
You are correct, sir. The good folks at Astro Rope were so happy that I was going to be on your show They said
that's nice.
They said, why don't we give one of Dan's viewers a cable?
So what is it that they want to share with the folks? So what we should do is got to figure out how to do this because we want to reward the guys that are watching live.
Sure. So it's a 10-foot cable from Astro Rope.
Mm-hmm.
Once Dan figures out which one of you get it, they'll drop ship it over to you, and you'll enjoy it, and hopefully give us feedback on Dan's next show.
Well,
or the show after.
I'm trying to think, what's a creative way we could do this? Like,
do you want to do a trivia thing?
We can do. I mean, there's all kinds of good rock trivia, like, you know.
What if it was something?
Who actually wrote All Along the Watchtower? You know, I mean, that's a pretty easy one.
I just won the cable then.
Well, you already have one. That's a pretty easy one. No, me, Lamatone says.
What if it was something about a previous episode of the show?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Who is the biggest producer that I've ever interviewed on this show? That's easy. First one to type it in. We'll see how long the lag is here. Who was by far the biggest producer that I've interviewed on this show?
In size or fame?
In fame.
Okay.
In fame. In size, totally different. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. Who was the fattest person I've ever had on this show? That would be me.
Yeah.
You're close, Rock and Roll Willie, but what's his name? Blaine. I named the Ventura, so you already have that. No one remembers? I've only interviewed one mega producer on this show. No, as far as standing in the world.
Not the producer, EL6.
George Martin, no.
That would have been big.
You're close, he's English.
Oh, man.
Brian Epstein, no, I was too late for that one.
Guess again.
Somebody will get it. Jeff Emmerich, you're really close. You're really close. Really close. This guy was an engineer for the Beatles before he became a producer. He took over from, not Brendan, wasn't Bud, the guy with the book, Ken Scott. You got it. Carlo Vidal 9. Okay, Carlo Vidal 9.
You just won a 10-foot cable.
You just won a 10. Wow, that took a long time. I'm really hurt by that. Ken Scott, who engineered the White Album and Mystery Tour and produced Bowie's first 4 records, Elton John's first 4 records.
That must have been a great conversation.
It was amazing. He told me every little doodad cool thing. Produced a couple of Queen records, Missing Persons. He produced the entire band from nothing.
Wow.
Mahavishnu Orchestra, 7 or 8 records.
Wow.
And this guy's the real deal. So Carlo Vidal 9. Send me an email to dan@65amps.com. And then I will pass it on to Lance and the guys at Astro Rope, and we will send you dog pile on Carlo. When was that interview? It was 2 years ago.
Wow.
It was funny. You know Brian Kehoe?
No.
He's the guy that did that recording the Beatles book.
Oh, cool.
He's a friend of mine. His studio's just right up here. Really nice guy. Mm-hmm. Incredibly learned and intelligent guy. And he does the paid VIP tours at Abbey Road.
Oh, nice.
So like 4 times a year, once a quarter, guys pay like
big bucks,
$5,000.
Yeah.
And a group of them get taken through Abbey Road by Brian, who knows every in and out because of that book. He researched that book for like 8 years.
That's great.
And so one day he calls me and he goes, "Hey man, Ken Scott's been watching your show and he wants to come over and say hi." Oh, shut up. Ken Scott does not fucking want to come to my show because he's kind of like that, you know.
And he did.
And he goes, "No, I'm serious." One, okay, yeah, whatever. Well, tell Ken I'm starting at noon, right?
Wow. And
then I get this text from Brian at about 1:45 who says, "Hey, Ken's lost. Can you text me your address again?" And, oh, Brian, you know. Wow. And I sent him the address, and all of a sudden, here comes this nice English gentleman walking down the hallway into my office. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Ken Scott. And
it's amazing.
And he was the nicest guy in the world, and he just completely opened the kimono. I asked him every inappropriate, intimate question I could, like how much of a queenie bitch was Elton John when you were working with him, and and he was all over it. He was just fine.
That's hilarious.
And Ken just moved to Nashville. He retired in Nashville. Blackbird. McBride built that copy of EMI too.
Wow.
And he's over there producing records now. People in Nashville are discovering Ken Scott for the first time.
That's amazing.
We talked about he was really good friends with Mick Ronson, and was just enamored with him, with his musical talent, his ability to orchestrate the band, and the whole thing, which is all that Spiders from Mars stuff. He credits Ronson more than Bowie. And he said Bowie would write the basic tune, and then Ronson would turn it into a piece.
Right.
And
all the riffs and
the orchestration, the arrangements, the whole thing.
Nice.
And he said he would literally run into the can with a legal pad. He'd be inspired and just run in there and start scribbling. And they'd all be sitting there, and he's in the bathroom for a half hour. It's like, Ronno, okay? And then he'd come back out. Okay, here's yours.
Wow.
And he said a lot of times it'd be 2 takes. They just read it off the chart that he scribbled. And that's like Ziggy Stardust.
So people could read music back then?
Yeah, musicians could read charts. They're stupid. They taught it. What was that place where we used to learn music when we were kids? School. They taught it in school. Yeah. Cool. You actually, even where I grew up, you could not finish school if you didn't know how to read music.
There's a school across the street. Do they have DJ classes now?
No, you know what they do? We do fundraisers, and there's one coming up, and we just did one for music education recently with my band.
Nice.
And it's Dina Carter and Mark Goldenberg from Jackson Brown's band, and a few other guys, and we raise money over there pay for a music teacher and some keyboards and violins and stuff.
That's great.
But the LA school district doesn't pay for it.
Huh.
Anyway, Ken Scott came on, and we just had the most amazing conversation, but he was a really good sport, so I totally did the Chris Farley thing on him.
Right.
Like, hey, Ken, remember when you engineered the White Album? And he went, yeah.
That was cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
And he totally played along. I'll send you a link to it. It's my favorite interview that I've ever done, and it ended up going 2.5 hours.
Really?
Yeah. He had a book. He was kind of pimping a little bit.
That's awesome.
It was sort of a tell-all book, like Jeff Emmerich's book, only it was just different perspective.
I wish my buddy Andy Johns had written a book.
Andy lived 3 blocks over here. And
I miss him.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys.
Yeah, had stories running out of his ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had the craziest house in the neighborhood.
Did he?
Yeah, no, I mean, we just walked by, you could tell that he moved in 82 or something, and everybody who knew him over there on the street said he never came out. But if you went in there, he was always working and furiously doing something, but he never came out of the house. We never saw him around the neighborhood.
We had a place on Mulholland for a while.
Yeah,
that was where he was going to kill his neighbor's dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, he told me.
He didn't get along with the neighbors here.
He told me he was going over the fence. Yeah. He said he was going over the fence with a handgun and a machete.
Nice.
And when the police showed up.
Oh yeah, perfect. And no, he's if you just turn right on this corner right here and go 4 blocks, that was his house on the corner until recently.
Yeah. Well, he died,
2 years ago. Yeah. Bless his heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, we lived here forever. Knew he lived there. Everybody knew it, but yeah, he wasn't real social. But everybody said if you did go into his house, he was working. He was not just sitting around watching TV and having cocktails.
No,
he was always mixing something or playing the piano or doing something. Just always working, furiously working, doing something.
Yeah, but it's sad when you think about guys like Ken and Andy and that whole crew. It's there's a wealth of knowledge there.
Yeah,
and those guys are all getting older and older and are gone.
Well, I love it that Nashville's embracing Ken.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because he's an older generation, an old school producer who started out as an engineer. He started out as a tape op at Abbey Road.
Right.
As a kid.
Right.
Him and Emmerich.
Sure.
Same kind of path. He told a really hilarious story about Bowie cut Space Oddity there.
Right.
No, it was when he first went over to Olympic, maybe. But if you were an entry level engineer or producer, you're an engineer trying to become a producer, they would throw all of these really crap gigs at you because back then you could just walk into Abbey Road and say, I want to cut a demo tape.
Oh.
And it was like 50 pounds or something.
Sure.
And whoever was the new guy on the ladder, they'd get on the intercom and go, Ken Scott, Studio 2.
Yeah.
I mean, walk in, there's just like, Marge wants to cut a song for her husband for his birthday.
Right.
And you'd have to do it. It was because they were employees.
Sure.
They weren't like,
Right.
contractors like they are now, resident producers.
Right.
They were just employees. So he said he got a call one day. He's back in the lounge and said there's some extremely gay looking guy in the lobby that wants to cut a song. You get it, buddy boy.
Right.
And it was Bowie who did Space Oddity on his 12 string.
Oh, wow.
And, and they said they ran through it 5 or 6 times. And at halfway through, he's on the intercom going, everybody come up here. You got to hear this guy. And so he instantly latched on to Bowie then. And Bowie liked, because it was a single.
Sure.
He literally cut it just to hand out to his friends in London, like go NAMM Platinum.
Sure.
And it caught on London radio and then started spreading around. And so because Ken, A, treated him with respect, and B, did a great job on Space Oddity.
He ended up on
He said, you're my guy.
Wow, that's great.
And the guys at EMI said, but I'm not a producer. He's not a producer. He's an engineer. We'll get you somebody else. And so Ken said, screw you, and quit. And went over to Olympic and cut Bowie's first record and produced it all.
Awesome.
Yeah, but he got, the Ronson and all the other guys for Bowie. He found them. They were a band in Manchester or something.
He put the band together around.
Yeah, because he had heard them play in London. They were all from the north somewhere.
Wow. And
said, this would be perfect. And he introduced them. You guys would be perfect for this artist. So, but I didn't know any of that stuff.
Wow. And
And he's telling us on the show, and we're all just like,
that's amazing.
and it was 2 hours of these stories. He told John Lennon stories and Freddie Mercury stories and Elton John stories like crazy.
I wonder what it was like to work with Freddie Mercury. He was amazing.
Yeah. Well, he talked about being back then that there was such a premium on actually being a musician during the day that they just kind of, it's another guy who sings really well.
Right.
Now it's, in hindsight, you listen to Elton John play piano and sing. Oh my God,
Yeah.
Boy, he'd win American Idol. But he said, I didn't realize it at the time. They were just jobs.
Right.
And Mahavishnu Orchestra did 7 records with him or something.
Now think about it. In today's record industry, would Mahavishnu even have a record deal?
They couldn't play at the cantina down the street.
Right.
Because it doesn't dance. Anyway, that's a whole nother
Yeah, it's a
conversation.
different show.
That's right. We'll tune in for Bitching with Dan Boul every Thursday at midnight. Let me get you a link. I got to turn on links here. It'll take me a second to get it. Allow links. But if you go to my Ustream channel and just type in Ken Scott, you'll see it. But Carlo, please send me that email.
And don't everybody send emails pretending to be Carlo.
Yeah, exactly.
We want the right Carlo to get the...
Hi, I'm Carlo.
Yeah. Steve Johnson at Yahoo.
I'll tell you what, here, we can make this easier. I can private message Carlo right now, I think. Hold on a second. Yeah, there's a lot of room for mischief here, isn't there? Private message. There we go. There we go. All right, I got a private window with Carlo here. Hold on. You're my private window, window for money. Oh, that's something else. Dashboard. Let me get you the link to the interview with Ken. He was such a gentleman the whole time, too.
Cool, man.
And I was truly geeked. Oh, I can't do it that way. Let's see here. Hang on one second. We can watch it now on this show. It's like an Escher version of the show. MC Escher version of Lunch with Dan Boul. Blaine B says, "Yo soy Carlos." There it is, fellas. Now everybody's logging out.
Yeah, I don't think I can compete as special guest against that. So
I don't know, man. You have some pretty funny jokes, Lance.
yeah, well,
Although after you quit drinking,
yeah,
they're a little tamer.
yeah,
Lance and I used to go to trade shows and hit each other.
yeah.
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
For fun, though. Hey, how are you? Long nights at the LA Amp show and NAM and stuff.
Oh man,
like that.
the LA Amp show.
People like to tie one on when they come to LA. And we're not a big drinking town.
Really?
We're a big weed town.
Big weed town. What is in that thing you're smoking? Is that?
Oh, that's just nicotine.
Oh, yes, it's not weed.
No, I don't have a card. Everyone always tells me, "Why don't you get a card?" I'm like, "I'm president of a corporation. I don't want to be on that list."
You can't.
If I ever get I can, but if I ever get sideways with the state or the city or something, they're gonna go, "Oh, wait a minute, asterisk,"
Oh.
I've heard tell of this many times. Because when you run a business, it's not a matter of if you're going to get sideways with the State Board of Equalization.
It's when.
Or it's when.
California's weird like that, isn't it?
They're not nearly as bad as the myth purports. It's just they have the tax rates here are really high, but the tax breaks are also really, really high. So if you don't have a good accountant, it's like, who pays full rate on their income tax?
Right.
No one does.
Right, no one.
I mean, that's why gazillionaires pay 5%. Because so California, if you don't pursue the tax breaks that are there, will hammer you. So as an outsider looking in, you look at our laws, you go, "Oh my, it's amazing, it's punishing, it's terrible." But then they also give you every opportunity to have a tax break.
Oh, there you go.
So my effective tax rate here is really low. There's they want you to run your business in certain parts of town. That helps. They give you lots of incentives to save money. Like I did stuff like redo my old shop with very cost-effective lighting that cut my electric bill down dramatically. They give you big tax breaks for that. We were in an enterprise development zone, so every time I hired a guy, I got a tax break for that.
Nice.
But you got to know that.
Right.
If you're just like, "Well, here's how much money I made. How much do you want?" then they will take your pants.
Yeah, bad.
So it's not really more expensive. It's just more complicated.
Well, I think I'm going to be out here part-time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I should have moved out here, 25 years ago. But I mean, it's better. I like the weather now. That's why. And then.
Well, yeah, it's a lot nicer weather.
Well, look, here's the deal. A bunch of us in Austin.
You won't have a heat stroke here.
No, a bunch of us in Austin only ended up in Austin back then because it was very inexpensive.
Austin's fantastic.
Yeah, but man, back in the old days, see, you could do 1 gig a week
and pay your rent.
Pay your rent, and go lay around at Barton Springs the rest of the time and have fun.
Right.
Well, then Dell moves in, right?
Yeah, now Austin's expensive.
Now it's as expensive to live in Austin as it is here.
Oh, there's a lot more work here.
A lot more work here, and the traffic.
But you have so many friends here.
The traffic is just as bad in Austin now too.
I've been there recently.
It's terrible.
Well, that I noticed the traffic is. We are going to play guitar here. Hang on a second. We'll quit bullshitting. But the problem with Austin and the traffic is the rain.
Yeah.
Like everything's moving along, and you get one of those Texas thunderstorms.
Yeah.
Where like, are my wipers even on? Oh wait, they're on high.
Right.
That makes it kind of tough.
Yeah. We got to make sure that goes in the right direction.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Let's just plug in this other rig.
Oh, that little one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that way we can crank the fuzz up too.
Right. It's too much.
It's fun.
Do you want this other cab, or do you want your cab?
That other cab's actually really cool.
So you want the other cab?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's got an EV12L in it.
Sounds good.
And well, that's very cool, Lance. If you were to move out here, I'd be very happy to assist you with anything you need. Even if you need a joint to crash for a week or two to find a place.
No, I think
I got a nice big queen size bed in my guest bedroom.
Oh,
there,
cool.
so.
Thanks. Well, I think I'm all set on that, but I'm just out here, you know, I'm trying to get as much work as I can.
Well, you know, with your resume and your skill set too,
Yeah.
like you'd be a perfect fit to get on a TV show.
Well, I've already, you know, I've already demoed every piece of gear pretty much on the planet on my YouTube channels.
No, I just mean with your ability to sort of like, you know, jump in and play.
Oh, I know, but I just meant that it's like all that's been pretty much done now, so I need to move out here and do different things.
Yeah, I mean the demo and gear thing is cool. That's just a side bit of cash, you know.
Yeah, it's fun though.
Our buddy Pete's doing really well with that out here. Plus, he's a sweetheart.
Well, he's great at doing that.
Yeah, he is.
I mean,
He's
we're
really
like,
good.
my guys, we're just a bunch of knuckleheads. You know, he's like, his videos are.
He's all businesslike and professional.
Yeah, it's like with us. I got Tommy Taylor back making comments from the drum stool about things.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we'll run you into the pedally solo. Let's see here.
My drummer usually voices as many opinions about the gear as I do.
Yeah. That sucks, dude.
We cramming that thing?
A little bit. Not bad. Let me just turn this down. We'll just have to yell when we talk. Go ahead and play now. Like, give me some volume.
That's a fun fuzz.
Play around with the switches and knobs. They can get a lot of different little.
That's fun. You can read that without glasses?
If I'm typing it, I know what it's supposed to be. So I can make good inferences there.
So are we cramming that mic out and
It's not bad. I got a level here. If we can keep it in the yellow, we're okay.
That's fun.
Yeah. But see, now I have to type because now they can't hear us talk at all.
Oh.
Oh!
What the? See?
Okay, well, let's turn the mic back up.
Oh, I thought you were going to keep playing.
Oh.
Yeah, keep playing.
Play
Okay.
some guitar.
Fun fuzz. So Dan, when will that fuzz be available? when will it be on the market?
I'll turn the mic back.
When can people get the fuzz?
Actually, what I got to do is get this where I can mic it up so you can really hear it. But I was cussing in sign language. Yeah, I think we'll have it for sale in about 6 weeks.
That's good.
Yeah, we're down to the short steps. It's getting there. You got to hear it, big amp, big room, because it does the thing correctly. Playing at this low volume, germanium's maybe not the best choice, but
well, it's hard.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
But you were getting some good sounds out.
Yeah,
that's fun, man.
And I genuinely think something went weird when we dropped it.
Yeah, I came in and sabotaged your fuzz right away.
It's okay. Is this on? There we go. Now, if only Lance knew a couple of licks. Yeah, I know. Too bad. We'll have to get him some lessons sometime.
I only know one. So.
Oh yeah, Johnny Be Good. Do you know that
That's
one?
not even know that one actually.
It's hard. I can show it to you.
It's kind of different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the thing is it's a different key. Something.
Is that it?
Something like that. It's not quite right though, is it?
You have to.
That's the whole reason I learned how to play guitar was for that lick.
That right?
Seriously, I'm not kidding.
Really?
Yeah, my dad, small town attorney. And summer between 6th and 7th grade, I was at home and he called me and goes, "Hey, you want an electric guitar?" I said, "Sure." And I have the guitar, it's right there.
Oh, cool.
And I said, "Yeah, I'd love to learn how to play Johnny Be Good." And he goes, "Oh, I got this college kid sold some dope to some cops. He doesn't have any money, but he's offering me a guitar and an amp if you want it. You can have it."
And that's how it began.
Yeah, and it was this guitar.
Oh, that's a great guitar.
Yeah, 63 Junior. So I literally went just to sit down and go, I said, "Play it right." That's all I wanted to do ever. And I learned how to do that in like 4 days.
So then the first year or two.
Yeah, that's all I did. Well, get down to Louisiana, close to New Orleans. That's all I wanted to do. But nobody plays the riff right.
No.
They never get the. You gotta get it right,
So
man. If you're gonna do Chuck.
You took the time to actually do
Well,
that.
when you only play Chuck Berry for a year,
You get
and really about 4 songs,
Yeah.
and then the Chuck Berry rhythm nobody plays right. So.
So my girlfriend Renee was just texted to say she's watching us.
Hi, Renee. So we'll have to act straight now.
Wait, hold on.
Hi, Renee. So you're from Texas. You know how to play that rhythm correctly, though.
Pretty much.
Because everybody goes like this.
No, it's not it.
Not at all.
No.
It's really, see, he's from Texas. He gets it.
No, there's a. I sat at rehearsals with this guy that was a top LA guitar player for like hours, trying to show him how to do the
Right.
Yeah. Or even the Stevie kind of thing.
Right.
I was going.
Oh yeah. Oh, the upstretch. Yeah. Right. But see, they teach you that in elementary school in Texas, don't they?
What's required.
Right. Yeah, you can't graduate unless you can shuffle.
Right.
Yeah. Chuck Berry's all about really staccato double stops.
Yeah. Sounds great. That's correct.
But I've done the same thing. I've sat down with amazing guitar players and goofing off because I have this reputation of being a Chuck Berry guy.
Well, the thing is, I don't think they ate okra when they were younger.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
They don't even know what field peas are.
He's like, you have to eat okra in order to.
I like okra with a whole lot of black pepper on it. Even when I come here and I get greens,
yeah,
and I ask them, "Do you have sauce?" I'm like, "We're talking about hot sauce." I'm like, "No, the vinegar with the pepper in the bottom."
yeah,
They look at me like, "This is a soul food place?
right?" And you don't know.
You serve me greens with no sauce?
Right.
I mean, come on, dude.
Now we did go to Killer Shrimp the other night.
Yeah.
And they did kind of have almost a Louisiana sort of shrimp thing going.
Just the powder on it.
Well, I don't know, man. Their broth was good.
Was it?
Yeah, but then I honestly we went to a fancy Mexican restaurant the other night.
Yeah.
In South Bay.
Right.
And they tried to make us margaritas.
Oh, it's very different here.
Oh, it was like
because all our Mexican food comes up from the Baja.
Well, but
we got this creamy seafoody, cheesy.
Yeah, things. I think my my Yelp
mm-hmm.
comment I made was that I felt like I'd been the victim of culinary butt rape.
As opposed to a different kind of butt rape. Yeah.
Just your normal average.
It wasn't your garden variety street butt rape here. This
why do you know the difference?
Yeah. From whence do you speak?
Yeah. I am originally from Oklahoma. Does that say?
Yeah.
Like, maybe.
That should say it all.
I'm trying to figure out how you pick up that education.
I'm an Oklahoma.
I was telling this story the other day. You probably have experienced it.
Right.
Very first time I went and played in Tulsa, I think I was 16, maybe 17 years old.
Kane's Ballroom.
God, I can't remember now. That sounds really familiar. I mean, this is 30 odd years ago. And we pulled in. We're a bunch of little green-eyed kids from Columbia, Missouri.
Right.
And the guy gets out to help us load in the back of the place. Says, "Hey, you boys know Tulsa spelled backwards is slut, right?" We all kind of went, "No, I didn't. Yeah, I guess you're right, aren't you? That's pretty funny." And then we were just kind of like, "Wow, that was odd." And then we came back again, and man, we've been out of the truck 5 minutes before some guy goes, "Where are you boys from?" We said, "Oh, from Columbia, Missouri." Said, "You know Tulsa spelled backwards is a slut, right?" Yeah, we heard that last time we were here. Yeah, if you write it backwards, it spells a slut. That's really cool. And then so we start subsequent gigs. We used to take a bet, like how long will we be out of the truck before someone points that out to us.
Tulsa is a slut,
spelled backwards.
Well, it is.
And we'd be like 20 minutes. No, I'm going for 45. Happened every time.
Right.
Played great gigs there. Had great people.
Yeah.
Lots of dudes in hats having fights. But
I'm sorry, my phone's ringing on a TV show.
That's okay.
It's Josh Smith.
Hi, Josh Smith.
We'll call him back.
Josh, quit fucking with us during the show.
Josh Smith, amazing player, by the way.
Josh is an amazing player.
Plays 13 high E.
Oh, someone here says, "I watched Hail, Hail, Rock and Roll again. I looked at the audience to see if you were there." Yeah, I was there, about halfway up in the middle. The Chuck Berry's 60th birthday party in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And
is that the one that Keith played on?
Keith MD'd the whole thing.
Right, I remember that.
And the Taylor Hackford shot it as a movie.
Right.
And
they encouraged Chuck to play the songs in the original keys.
Dude, whatever they did, Keith, did the record afterwards. Mm-hmm. And apparently what I found out later was that, because when I was there, Chuck sounded awful. God bless him. But he sounded awful. And he was clearly just being a dick on stage the whole time. Like, they edited it to make it look pretty good.
Like he was having fun.
But, like, every artist that came on, he was just trying to ruin their song. It was just, Julian Lennon came out, he called him John Lennon. It was just, like, and Linda Ronstadt was singing Back in the USA, and he was just shouting over the whole time.
Yeah. Well, I think he punched Keith during that, didn't he? At some point.
Oh, no, we went away. Are we not there?
Are we off?
Anyway, so what Chuck did was run
commercial break.
A direct box
Yeah.
off the back of Chuck's amp and had other amps down in the basement that he was micing up. Yeah.
Because he was playing through some
dual showman reverbs. The heads are like that big.
Right.
They sounded awful.
and so he just had a.
He had like, from what I understand, he had like a white or brown faced showman down in the basement, and that's what Chuck was playing. That's what you hear.
That was recorded,
and it still sounded. I mean, he played way louder than everybody else on stage too. I was like one of those buddy guy things, you know, where you go, a little buddy guy sits in and cranks a basement up all the way.
Man, I'll tell you a great Chuck Berry story. You know, my drummer.
We're still there.
Oh, hey.
Well, some guy said you were gone.
Not here.
Right.
Nada.
Right.
Somebody's still here. Nothing here. Not here in Virginia.
Oh.
Well, it's a good time to quit anyway.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, thank you for tuning in.
Let me log back in
Come
here.
back next week.
Not here from Folsom Prison.